Dude, House of Leaves.
House of Leaves is good. It's the hardest book to recommend to someone because they open it up to like all the weird artistic stuff he did. Where like, what if there's just like 10 pages of nothing in it, but like a letter, or the words are falling like a cascade, and they're like, what if book?
You have to read it in a mirror for this part. That's literally a part. That's literally a part that you do.
Yeah, it's such a. And you're like, well, let me explain. It's like it's a book within a book. It's all fake, but there's footnotes from another story in the margins of this one, and they're like, okay, I think I'm good. I'll go back to Ready Player One. No, come over to me. Come over to me in the House of Darkness. House of Leaves is great.
No, it actually was fun, but
very,
yes,
very cool.
It is very silly.
Chad, so you had something happen to you, man.
Yeah, let me make this part of the podcast be like an audio not a confession because I didn't do anything wrong. What would that be, like an audio testimony, I guess?
Yeah, maybe like a recording, a laying out of your side of the story.
Yes, because this is going to probably be entered. The entire episode will be entered into court.
Definitely.
Last week I was having a pretty rough day, and I decided to drive over to Burbank.
Mm-hmm.
Pick up my buddy Dom and get some lunch. Let's have a sad boy lunch.
What were you guys going to get real quick?
Well, we decided to go, where do we go? Do you want to...
Wood Fire Grill, I think it's called. I always get the name wrong. It might be Wood Ranch.
It's really generic sounding.
But it's super generic.
It looks
and the food is fine, but we went there.
Okay.
It's right next to Cartoon Network, and we decided to go. And I pull up next to Cartoon Network, and I'm sitting in my car idling for, I don't know, I'd say 5 minutes. I have my hazards on. I'm in the car. I might be parked in slightly of a red zone. But that's it. Dom and I get in the car. We have a nice time. Friendship and strength and power and brotherhood, all that stuff.
Power.
That started to sound weird.
We had power together.
We had a lot of free rolls. And then, just last night, got a letter, a ticket from Burbank police saying I parked illegally in a red zone. And I now owe $70. But it's clearly, I clearly got it because they show you what street you got it on and when and what time and where it was. It was while I was in the car waiting for Dom.
Oh, wait, what?
Like the street I was on, the only time I was there, the last 3 weeks has been picking Dom up.
So you were just sitting in the car waiting for Dom. I was
sitting in the car, idling, hazard lights on in the car, aware, not on my phone, just sitting there, just like blankly staring into the sun.
Into the void, yes.
For a moment.
Yeah, how long would you say it was?
Oh, there? 5-10 minutes tops.
Not
really.
Even. I would say tops 5. I was out quickly.
5. I mean, you have those long legs. You move very quickly, and we're very, very punctual.
Dom's gazelle-like strides.
Well, the thing is, the parking enforcement in Burbank Police, by the way, they have a chrome pink SUV police vehicle.
Whoa.
That they roll out for breast cancer.
Oh, I see. Okay.
To capture all the breast cancer.
To capture all the cancer.
Because they're men enough. They're men enough.
They're man enough to wear pink, boy. And so the parking enforcement is like this freaking army Jeep that has like 3 cameras mounted to it, like closed circuit TV cameras. And I guess Chad was briefly in the red zone and a camera looked at him and was like, that motherfucker gets a ticket.
Yeah, what I can't tell is if either a surveillance drone flew overhead, just saw me in the red zone and just automatically gave me the ticket, or I guess there's possibility that I blacked out and a cop knocked on my window and was unable to talk to me, so he just gave me a ticket. It feels weird to get a ticket without anyone talking to you.
Yeah, a cop gave you a ticket but didn't give it to you right then and there. He mailed it to you.
He mailed it to me.
Yeah, right.
It felt like a guy like drove by and just like got him, and then just like kept on leaving.
Are you gonna fight this?
Oh yeah, I'm being petty. I think it's
Chad
bullshit.
and I have our receipts from lunch.
Yes,
we will show you how quickly we ate lunch.
I might call on that waitress as a character witness. Like
wait. Oh,
a surprise witness.
Did you like whip around to pick Dom up after you're like eating? Is that what happened?
No. This was just like we picked him up to go to lunch, and then immediately. I think the lunch is not really going to be like a linchpin part of the case, but we're going to be like, listen, I was picking him up. These receipts corroborate the story.
I have my timeline. My timeline is here.
Yeah,
Take a look at it.
In the Serial Season 1 parody that is not topical at all anymore, where they walk to Best Buy and try out the phones. This would be like me going like, this is how long it took us to get here, and we drove, and we got to Cliff Jumper or whatever the hell it was called to eat.
It's called, by the way, Wood Ranch Barbecue and Grill.
Did you just research this?
I only know because I typed in the name that Dom said, and then typed Burbank, and then the first thing that came up was Wood Ranch Barbecue and Grill, not whatever I searched. And while I was looking at the Yelp page, you said we ate a lot of free rolls, and one of the top pictures on Yelp is a basket of rolls.
It's a picture of me eating a basket of rolls.
It's just you.
Yeah,
and you're sitting in a red zone doing it, and you're there's cars all around you trying to get in.
I guess I'm just confused in two different levels. One, is it illegal to be parked if you're in the car?
No.
I've never considered that parking. I'm like, yes, because at any point, anyone can go, sir, can you move? Yes, sir. Good day to you, sir. Or madame. It might be a lady cop. It might also be a lady cop.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what the hazards are for.
Yeah.
I'm somewhere where I shouldn't be, but I must be here for a moment. Hazards.
Yes, let's all talk
If you
about
get a ticket in the mail, by the way, they've ruled that is taxation without representation, which is why they got rid of the stoplights.
Oh.
So is this their new thing because they can't do the stoplight cameras?
No, this is just Burbank police who freaking have so much GD money that they're like, all right, let's see if we can bleed people out of money. Like, come to Burbank and get a ticket because we're trying to keep them.
Well, it says an officer name on the ticket, right? There's an officer. I won't put him on blast. I don't want to create a witch hunt for this officer.
Yeah.
I know the Goosebud fans are very loyal.
They will get out. Yeah, they'll get out there and pound the pavement looking for this guy.
Like
totally.
Warriors.
Yes.
But and the Warriors all have like slappy masks. That's the Goosebuds Warriors. It needs to either say, was it a man? Did a man walk by, give me the ticket, and then just not look in to see who was there? Did a car, like did a pink Hummer on the lookout for breast cancer just tag me and go by? Or did a drone just pick me up and then fly away? Like, I need to know who...
I'm telling you it's the parking enforcement Jeep that has several cameras mounted to it.
I feel like I would have noticed a Google Maps type car driving by, but maybe not. Maybe it like lurked up behind me and then drove the other way. Like it's like stealth assassinating people with tickets.
Well, we'll return to this as you fight it, right? When's your court day?
I haven't looked. I probably should look that up. I mean, listen, if this ends...
You were not prepared, Jed. Come on, man. You gotta fight City Hall.
Yeah, it's gotta be a part of your timeline, dude. You gotta be on top of things.
Shit, okay, I'll look it up. If this story ends next month, we're doing a Goosebuds. It's like, oh yeah, Chad's in jail for a week. Like
we can announce, announce the court day, and everybody can come.
I love this idea. Great. Actually, that's actually great because I think you're allowed to show. You're just allowed to show up to court, right?
Yeah, you're allowed to show up to court and watch.
Why don't more people do that? Why don't more people just go to court and like hang out?
Because boring as shit. It's sad and boring as shit.
Okay, let me throw it this way: if you were allowed to talk or yell in court, it would be the best time.
If you're allowed
to, everybody would go.
If you're allowed to go and just you can throw stuff out from the stands and like basically this just becomes Idiocracy court. That's all it's going to be.
I was going to say, what happened to throwing rotten fruit and vegetables? Like, let's get that again. Let's do that again.
There's all those news stories about grocers that have to throw away their food because it's a week expired when they don't need to. Right? That's a big story about food waste.
Yeah,
sell it to the courts. It encourages business and industry, and then people can go to the courts and like buy an old tomato.
And civil service will be fun again.
Oh, I think we're figuring this out.
Like, because we had them at hangings. At hangings, you were able to, and we're not bringing hangings aren't coming back. All right,
that's not the path I thought you were going to go to.
Hangings are not coming back.
No,
but the fun of hangings can come back.
The fun of hangings is back.
The fun of a wild bob. Well, let me
at Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel's probably the closest ever to get to doing that again. Yeah.
Remember old hang times?
Well, you're going to see is like some old man like saying, "Come back to Cracker Barrel," and this is where we remember the old days, and then you just see him drop out of frame below with a rope hanging from him.
Oh,
yeah.
All the joy of hangings that you heard about in stories and tales without the gruesome death.
I don't think I would go to a public hanging back in those days. That seems not fun.
No.
The movies always show like hundreds of people there.
I'd go once. I would go once.
Oh, this is a great segue into our story. Because there's a moment where this happens. I think that's probably why my brain went there, Chad.
I think so.
I think about this stuff all the time, but yes, also because of this book that we just read. Yeah.
This book that should never have ended in a spot where a public execution was going to happen, but it did. As fuck did.
Let's talk about this book. Welcome to Goosebuds, by the way.
Hello.
Welcome to Goosebuds. This is A Night in Terror Tower.
But what book number is this in our list?
What is this? This is episode 40. Book number, I'm just going to take a wild guess, 36. Just going to guess.
36? Okay, let's see.
Let's see if I'm right at all.
Night.
I might be way off.
Terror.
27.
27.
We've really taken a lot of detours, I guess, and not ridden. Oh, yeah, that's right. I guess it makes sense. 27.
Hey, we also did a Fear Street episode last week.
Did a Fear Street. God, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I kind of want to read more about those cheerleaders, but
I was intrigued. Actually, I would love to go back.
Some folks on the subreddit offered up some information on the series, I believe.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, we should pull that up.
Read a little bit more. They talk about the Fear family, the curses, and such. It's a whole thing.
Which I assumed there were some curses on that family.
Oh yeah.
But Night in Terror Tower, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is where we are. Cover's got a man with an axe and an executioner's hood coming down some old-fashioned stairs. It's spooky.
Once again, not really a thing that's in the book. Not like this.
No, it pays off right at the beginning. Not like this. You're right. Not like this.
No, not like this.
That,
not like this.
Not like this.
We're all thinking of the line from Matrix when we're saying this.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yes, okay, absolutely.
But it stars a brother and sister combo, Eddie and Sue.
Sue.
They're in London. Their parents are at a conference. They've got a big meeting, and
this one was
Eddie
exciting.
Sue,
I you know what? I was going to say this one was exciting because it was the first foreign one, but actually, the mummy in Egypt.
Yeah.
Yep,
that mummy
in Egypt.
But once again, I had to assume RL's parents were constantly working or something, because there's a lot of, we just got to get the parents not in here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, things are just scarier when you don't have your parents when you're a little kid, right? Because then it's like, it's up to you to get out of the situation.
No one's around to save you, yeah.
Well, you know what? I totally agree with you, Dom. Let me just pitch this here. I think you saying that, there's a lot of undiscovered horror in Will My Dad Be Mad? Like... there's another book direction any of these could go, where you have your very proud, overbearing father or mother there, and they're just like, I hope I don't disappoint them in the Terror Tower. And then you just have the parents be there the whole time.
Yeah, and you would pee your pants and then you embarrass them.
Yeah,
the shame.
Totally,
yeah, the shame factor.
Just saying, there's a different way to go with it.
Yeah.
Oh, my kid pissed himself. Oh, God. But Sue and Eddie are touring Terror Tower in London, a tower used as a place of torture for prisoners and such. And
there's a great almost wage slavery comment where he's talking about debtor's prison in the upper parts of the tower, and he talks about how when you get put in there, you're not able to pay your debts back, so you're just there forever.
That's real.
Yeah, which goes right into Chad's parking ticket, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna end up working for the police department. God damn it.
You're gonna live inside the pink Hummer for the rest of your life, dude.
Oh man, guys, I'm gonna miss you.
You're gonna be cleaning bullets and putting them into guns. Do you
think they clean each bullet so they fly faster?
Yeah, dude. They don't want to shoot a dirty bullet.
No, man. They have. And how do you think they afford that pink Hummer? They gotta reuse bullets.
Yep. But no, that's how they're paying for that pink Hummer, is ticketing Chad $53. Was it 53 or 70?
It's 70.
Damn dollars.
I mean, as I fight it, I'm sure it'll double and
triple. Oh yeah. There's the dickhead fee for being a dickhead and fighting it. That automatically doubles it.
Well, another thing is, you can do in Burbank Court, you can do double or nothing rules. It's kind of like Oogie Boogie from Night Before Christmas or whatever, where you just go in and there's a bunch of dice and things you can roll. It's very crazy, but I can end up either losing $1,000, or I might get to fire a gun. It's you can go different ways. Yeah.
LA's a crazy place. Wow, I love it.
Very crazy. So Terror Tower.
Terror Tower. The kids are on a tour of this Terror Tower. It's a tower where they tortured people.
Mm-hmm.
And the book opens up, and I found this to be quite interesting, and probably the realest scary that RL has kind of got into, because he's talking about real actual torture devices.
Oh yeah.
The person who's heading the tour is I think his name is
Mr. Starks.
Yeah. He's describing the rack, some rings that would hurt your fingers when they put them on.
There's a paper cut machine that's just real bad.
That's terrible.
Oh, it's terrible. But I was actually researching torture devices last month, just out of curiosity on Wikipedia.
Just out of literal morbid curiosity.
Yeah, it's I mean, I love Wikipedia, and also because it's whatever, I have morbid curiosity like that. I can fulfill it. Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was reading about the head crusher and the rack.
What's the head crusher? What?
The head crusher is a device where it's like a metal cap that it's like a table and a metal cap with a big screw on top. So they just keep screwing your head.
And
crushing it. And so often that the eyeballs would pop out as they crush your head, that they would put a device to catch the eyeballs.
That's nice of them, I guess.
They also, on the Wikipedia entry, they sourced it. I didn't read the source, but they said that the torturer would also use a little metal hammer to tap on the cap for his own fulfillment, to entertain himself as he was torturing this person.
Oh, his own little perversion. His little sick
pervert. It's like a fun joke for them. But like that stuff's so gruesome, and I was actually considering it. I was like, oh yeah, I guess psychopaths were a part of our society. We employed them. We were like, oh, you're crazy? Okay, come and do the awful work.
It's that weird overlap where we were smart enough to like start developing machines and figuring out like engineering, but also like souls mean nothing and we're all monsters. Like it's such a weird time.
And it's true though that we employed the psychopaths, and the reason we got serial killers is because we put them out of work. We got rid of all the torture stuff, and now they didn't have jobs anymore.
That's what I was thinking about. I was like, oh yeah, they don't have jobs anymore, so they just roam the earth killing people.
How do you guys want to go? Like, if you guys had to be tortured, not how do you guys want to go, but if you had to be tortured, if you had to be tortured,
I had to be tortured? No, I don't want to.
No, you'd be killed. If you had to be killed,
you're gonna you're gonna go to court, Chad, and you're not gonna come back because you're gonna get abducted, or you're gonna go to the Wood Ranch Grill and you're gonna get abducted, and then they're gonna fulfill your freaking preferred torture.
Well, I'm just saying,
they're like, Chad the Goosebud would have wanted it this way.
If you had to pick one,
that's a tough.
I refuse to answer this question.
Wow. Hard line here. Hard line from Dom.
I will not answer this question.
I'll humor you, Chad.
Okay.
Phew. It's tough. Not fire and not water, that's for sure. I would not want to be slowly burned or slowly drowned.
Yeah.
How about that big swing where they tie your hands together and they freaking swing you around and dislocate your arms?
Is that a thing?
That sounds like a great one because you probably pass out. Right?
Yeah, you die pretty quickly.
That sounds good. I'll take that.
Okay. I was thinking
you get fucked up though. It's like a fucked up roller coaster.
I was thinking like more, just for the imagery of it and to be taken out in such a graceful way. Drawn and quartered would be interesting. Like, just 4 strong horses being my end though. Like, as crazy as it is, like
that's the rat. But that's the rack, but there's also 4 beasts involved that might not do it right, and you might have just
I guess that's kind of my thought is, like, I think that while it's happening, I could maybe, like, tame the beasts.
I was going to say, soothsay the animals.
Yeah, like basically in my mind, I use unnatural superhuman strength to like, flex the 2 horses on my arms to me. And then I like pull the other 2 of my legs up, and then I'm riding kind of essentially 2 horses with the other 2 dragging behind, and I escape.
I love that, Chad. I hope that if you were drawn and quartered, that's the way it went.
Chad, that's such a perfectly used solution to that problem.
But Chad, I think if I don't know, maybe this is just me and my cartoon mind, but I would imagine if horses are trying to pull someone's body apart, that they would really have to exert themselves to like really yank it apart.
Oh yeah.
And they would probably shit. They'd probably try and run so hard that they start shitting. So you're freaking getting pulled apart by horses, and horses start shitting on you. It was probably so unpleasant. And if not shit, at least farting. Like,
it's going to be really unpleasant.
And you're like, oh god, a horse is farting while it's tearing me apart.
and you're definitely farting as well.
And
yeah, you shit yourself.
Yeah, all the things, yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to think that they like take the horses on a walk beforehand, but whatever, sure.
Again, this could all be part of the Cracker Barrel ad of stuff that's not going to happen at the Festival of Delights and Rotten Fruit.
Can you just see a family like gathered around those barn tables at Cracker Barrel as they all lean in and watch excitedly as a man's pulled apart by horses?
Pulled apart.
That's how it used to be, man. That's how it used to be. That's the other thing. It's like not only were the torturers awful people, but also the people who came to the public torturings, they were like, ooh, yeah, there's a new one tonight. Wonder what's gonna happen.
Dude, in this book, when we'll get to it, we'll get to the part, but when they're describing the people who are there to watch this, he talks about how they're all dead-eyed and vacantly staring, just like dead, soulless folk just gathered around.
Yeah, the only thing that makes them feel alive is watching someone die.
Anyways, so the torture, we're seeing the torture devices at this tower. We see that Mr. Stark has a real dark humor, right, Chad? Or Dom?
That's right. What does he say? He says he starts off by being like doing one of the classic RL
fake outs. Mm-hmm.
Fake outs where he's like, you will stay in the tower forever. And then he's like, haha, I'm just having fun. Yep. I have to have fun on my tour. And then throughout the rest of the tour, he's making like jokes about people getting tortured and dying.
Yeah, and including the people that he's leading around, which would be just a dereliction of his duties to take care of these people to let them be tortured and murdered.
Also, please leave a tip in the tip jar on your way out. It's in the giant splitter. Please.
Yes. There's a little dollar on the rack.
Yeah. And the second cliffhanger of this, Dom, to just jump ahead a little bit, is the last picture I would ever take of Eddie, which is a line that was used in the Fear Street book we just read and is used a lot in RL books, where it's the last thing, the last time they'll ever do that. But I want to real quick not jump ahead to the end of the story, but say that was a lie. And well, maybe. I mean, I guess in this book we never are given proof that was a lie, but I think it was.
I'm going to. It's technically not a lie because of what happens, but it will spoil the ending. So maybe we'll get there and we'll come back to.
We'll loop back to that.
But so they're getting toured around, showing the torture devices, and then sure enough, they get separated from the group in classic Goosebumps fashion,
and Goosebuds fashion,
and Goosebuds.
Yeah, we also get lost a lot.
A lot.
We get lost in life. We all do. So they're running around looking for the tour group, and then an executioner shows up and begins to chase them around Terror Tower. He's like, I'm gonna get you, and they're running away, and they try to run away through the sewer.
This is the scariest part of the book too.
Okay, well, if you thought it was particularly scary, Paul, what scared you? The rats?
Oh, I didn't actually find it all that scary, but it's literally the closest we get to a spooky part of this book.
Yeah,
well, I really enjoyed this part because it was like torture device, and here's a torturer, and he's chasing you through the castle. It's
right?
Like, wow, here we are. We're fucking in the middle of this. And I really enjoyed this part.
This is literally the night in Terror Tower. This is because the rest of the book, there's no night. There's no full night spent in Terror.
Not a lot of time in Terror Tower at all.
No.
For a book. No. I also want to say though too, like it seems at the beginning he's just saying, "Come with me, and I won't hurt you, but come with me." No questions asked.
He's being very vague about things.
Yes.
A lot of issues could have been solved by just talking.
Right. This is one of my, and again, I think it's important to point out because as we find out, there's some weird. I have some logic problems with this book, but hopefully,
definitely.
May I just misread it? So yeah, they're running, and I thought at this point the book would be, I guess they're just running through the Terror Tower the whole book. They get out like immediately.
Yeah. They escape pretty well through the sewer. It does work.
They dodge some rats, right? Like that's kind of.
They dodge some rats. They get into a taxi that takes them to the hotel where they're staying, and they run to their parents' room
They try to pay the taxi driver, but their money's weird, apparently.
Oh, yeah, their money's weird. It's smooth coins all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, what is this play money? I want real money. And so they're like, all right, let's go inside. We'll be right back. We're going to get our money from our parents. Turns out nobody's in that room, 626, where they were staying. freaking what happened?
And
where's the parents?
I should also note that at the beginning of this book, when they're going on a tour, they enter a room where a Prince Edward and Princess Susanna of York were smothered, or supposedly smothered, at night while they slept because their uncle the king wanted them dead. And our main characters' names are Sue and Eddie.
Yeah, whoa.
Oh, hey. So, all right, we're just getting to the reveal.
Let's just get so just to talk about the book and the plot. I was a little disappointed because as they get to the hotel, for the meat of the book, a big portion of the middle of this book
is the hotel.
Is them going around going, wait, are we in our real time? Where are we? Why are we not in our real time? Like, why can't I remember home?
Right.
What do my parents look like?
Why does my money not work?
Yeah, it's like so much of that by the time that they realize that they've somehow relocated to the Middle Ages, you're like, it's just like, yes, fucking, you haven't realized that yet. You know, like, it's just like,
you're
Jesus
way
Christ.
ahead of the protagonists of this book. Way ahead of them.
Okay, so I also mentioned, so at this point, because we need to track this, because it's the weird plot device of it, early on, the executioner shows, when he's like, come with me, it's my favorite thing in the book, was he's like, come with me, and he pulls out like three like white rocks.
Yeah.
Or white stones. And he starts, and he doesn't explain what they are, but he's like, come with me, and he starts stacking them in his hand. And then he drops one, he's like, damn it! And then shit, that's shit.
Fuck.
And that's when they escape. Like they're like, fuck, let's get out of here. That's when they run away. So, but then you also find out that it's just a weird human moment in this book. But
it was very human and very relatable because the guy is just like, fucking shit.
God damn, these rocks to stack. But you find out that like Eddie also stole the rocks. I was very confused by the order.
Yeah.
I don't know how, because Eddie's a pickpocket. They've established that Eddie's a pickpocket.
Yeah, because he steals her camera.
Conveniently, at that moment, they're like, by the way, Eddie's a pickpocket.
Yeah.
So they have the rocks.
Yeah, but then they are seized by the torturer.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
and he's like, "Give me those rocks." And he goes, "Okay." And he's like, "Haha! Now I got these rocks."
We still never know what they are at all. Yeah.
No, and then he brings the kids back to Terror Tower, and
No. First, he takes them back in time. That's where there's a flash of light, and then he disappears for some reason. He's not with them. Like there's a flash of light, and they're back in the hotel, and suddenly it's old. It's old and medieval.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's daytime out too, so they see.
Yeah,
it's freaking straight up the Middle Ages.
It's the Middle Ages.
So they time traveled, but not with the executioner.
Not with the executioner for some reason.
Okay,
which breaks the time travel rule later, which it doesn't work out that way, which is weird.
There's so many. Listen, if we're going to do the Doc Brown Back to the Future 2 story where he draws the different timelines on the whiteboard, and one's like evil Biff Future and one's like normal 85, this one has like 10 of them.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, this one's got a bunch of diverging timelines, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but then they're caught, right, Tom?
Yeah, they're caught and they're put in. Well, they get separated, and then Sue is captured and put into a prison, and Eddie's there, and then what is his name? Mongrel? What is the?
What is it? It's like Morgrid. It's like such a
Morgrid. That's it.
Yeah, it's such like a standard European sorcerer name somehow. Yeah,
but yeah, he reveals to the children that the reason why they can't remember what their parents look like or where they live is because they are actually Edward and Susanna of York, and this old man used these stones to send the children forward in time.
Morgrid the Wizard did.
What's that?
Morgrid the Wizard did that, yes.
Yeah, Morgrid the Wizard, yeah, the old man who's explaining this to them. Sent them forward in time onto this tour, and then the executioner got the stones, got the kids back in time, and that's where they are, and they're sitting there, and they're going, fucking shit, we're gonna die, what the hell? They're gonna smother us with pillows.
Also, yeah, by the way, like in terms of, it's so weird to set up all the torture devices in the beginning, and then I just assumed the kids were killed with one of those. No, they were just smothered with pillows. Like,
right.
they were honestly pretty nice about killing him. Like, the way if they're going to do it, they did it the most gentle, nice way.
That would probably be the way that I would want to go.
Probably be the way to go.
Getting smothered with a pillow?
I wouldn't wake up. I would just fall asleep and die. That would be...
Yeah, do it in my sleep.
Well, I mean, it's like forced sleep. They take a pillow and they shove it in your face. And they say, go to sleep forever.
Well, no, you're already asleep. Or maybe you're picturing you're awake. I'm picturing I'm asleep. I'm vaguely aware. If someone is
smothering you, you wake up.
I gotta say, though, Dom, I'm such a heavy sleeper. I think I would just go like, oh. And then just kind of like, just slip into nothingness. That sounds like it could be a pretty good way to go.
It's probably the best way to go in that entire tower of terrors.
Yes. But it's weird that they got a nice, relatively nice way out as opposed to...
Well, they were rich people, so they deserved a better way to die.
Sure. The nicest
they were
of
children.
Pillows. Yeah, they were children.
So they're like, hey, wait, now what actually happens here? Because I think I kind of missed where they got the stones again.
So Morgred is like, so they're like, God, you got to send us back, Morgred. Send us back to the future and save us. And Morgred, for some reason, this time says he can't do it because he'll be murdered. He'll be murdered himself, and he won't get to do cool magic for the rest of Britain.
This is where I got very confused. So again, this is just to set this out a little bit. So Morgred felt bad for them, right?
Sent them to the future.
And this is before the night of their execution, so enough of the people in the king's court know that these kids are gonna get killed.
Right.
Feels bad for them, sends them into the future hoping that they'll just go. So my question,
and the executioner spied on that process and watched him do that.
Okay, so the executioner stole the stones, I guess.
From Morgred after that.
From Morgred, jumped into the future as well.
Yes.
And by the way, and Morgred's way to protect them was, I'll give you fake memories. So I'll make you think that you are kids in the modern day and you'll have parents.
Yep.
And I feel like, to be frank, unless you really want to just like give them a nice life without them worrying about it, if you want them to keep safe, it'd be way better to go like, hey, I'm sending you into the future, but here's the deal. You get to keep your memories. Watch out for executioners.
Yes,
watch out for White Rocks. Like, I sorry to do this to you, but you're going to go to a fantastical world. Live, children. Live your lives. Bye. And then you would know who you are. It'd be sad, but you know who you are.
You're going to live in the perfect time where you get to have the not internet and then the internet, and it's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be great. You're going to have a fun time with the GameCube. I can also, like, Morgred, if you want to get into the power, right? I'm overthinking it, but like, Morgred gave them false memories. So either he cast a spell that just said like, figure out when you get there. Or he was like, and I shall plant a memory that they have a hotel room at the Holiday Inn on 6th Street.
Right.
Yeah, I thought 626 would come back.
Me too. Maybe it was the year?
Oh, yeah, maybe. But like, it's just a weird thought process of like, how am I keep these kids safe? So, okay, cool. Executioner goes against the rocks. Fuck. Brings them back. Then just leaves the executioner. Like, the executioner's just like, good, you guys are here now. And then doesn't go and confront the wizard or anything. It's just like, well, enough of that. And the wizard's like, I can't do it again, really. If I do it a second time,
they're gonna fuck me up. They're gonna fuck me up real bad.
Yeah, I just don't know what changed, or like if he had said the king now knows of my attempt and I'm in big trouble, and
it was not clearly laid out there.
I didn't understand the plan. I didn't understand the end game. Anymore. Sorry, I just wanted to explain that. Yeah.
No, that's fine. And so they're like, you got to do something. He says that they can't do that, but then wily old Edward is like, guess what I did? I stole the stones again, one more time, because he at this point Morgred leaves them to die, and they do the spell, which I guess Morgred hadn't thought through that he could just have Edward do the spell and take him away.
Yeah, he cries. He goes, "But goodbye, children. You're gonna die. Bye."
And he cries
and he leaves.
It makes way more sense if Morgred had like gotten killed, like, or you know what I mean, or something. Like if it had been the executioner kills Morgred when they come back, and like I'd get why that door is now closed to them.
Right.
Also, maybe break the stones. This seems like a big deal to have in the armory of this York king.
Yes.
To not be using time stones
all the time.
All the time.
He could have gone back in time and had the kids killed way earlier and not had to deal with all this.
He could have went back in time and tortured dinosaurs, sick bastard.
This is my other big thing I just want to say before because the story is almost wrapped up, honestly. Like, is if your problem is these two kids are going to become heirs to the throne, right? And that's why he had them killed.
Yeah.
If they get sent to the future time, you're good. Like,
yeah.
Problem solved. Problem solved. You should have done like Morgred. Hey, you know what? We found a better way than torture. Let's just dump kids in the future. Or
no. Because the people were so savage then, they were like, you killed children and it wasn't public. Like, we didn't get to publicly watch this torture.
What do we do with our
usurping
fruit?
your ass?
What do I do with my... yeah.
Okay, all right, fine. Then
I got gypped.
Alternate version, right? You do the same thing with public execution. You put them on stage and you have everyone in town know about the time stones in the kingdom. And you're like, we're going to send them right into a T-Rex's mouth. All right, wave goodbye.
Okay.
Wave goodbye. And then you make the kids hold the time stones and send them off. And then you just do that for anyone you don't like. It probably saves up on space. You don't have to worry about disposing of the bodies. Yeah.
Those kids get to play GameCube, like you said.
I don't know why the executioner went to get them to bring them back other than just we want to see these kids die. I want to visibly see these kids die.
He could have murdered them in the future, too.
Yeah. It's very strange.
So here's, and it just dawned on me. So the whole reason Morgred, another reason he said he couldn't do it was because he would die and then not be able to do magic for Britannia. But then at the end of the book, they transform, they go to the future and they bring him with, and he can't do magic for Britannia. So the same thing happens.
Oh, is that what it was? I think he was going to, and they said, nah, don't worry about it. Wait, is that, so this is to say, they escape again, right?
Yeah, they get this, they use the stones and travel back to the future, and they're suddenly back on the tour.
And they're back on the tour, but Mr. Morgred is there, and his name's Mr. Morgan now. And he's wearing futuristic clothes.
And he's now their father.
And he's their father, yes. And
because they become Eddie and Sue Morgan, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and the tour guide, I believe, says, like, oh, and that fateful, because they didn't get to hear the end of the tour before. Like, that fateful night, the two children disappeared magically. Though at this point now, they should also say, like, they were believed abducted by that pervert, Morgan. Like,
right.
That's like history should now say. This is the wizard was also missing.
Also, the tour guide should have been like, holy fuck, 3 people just randomly appeared in front of me.
Yeah.
Also, another thing. This is looping back is how the time travel doesn't work, because why did the executioner, when he traveled them back in time, get separated from them? I don't know if this was ever explained, but when Morgred goes to the future with them, he stays with them.
I don't know. I really don't.
Not only does he stay with them, but then he gets like a 20th century update to his outfit. He does. He's wearing like a purple T-shirt.
Now that I could explain if he said, I cast a clothing spell. I get it.
Sure.
Right?
And he can because he talks about casting a food spell. So I'm going to assume he did that.
And this is where the book loses me at the very end. They're like, shall I cast a food spell for you guys to eat? And they're like, nah, let's get like pizza or burgers instead. Let's like get it. Pizza and burgers are great. Maybe put them together. Try something different. If a magician offers you magic food, you eat that magic food. Yes.
Eat magic food.
Chad, they just had a full day, okay? They had a full day of
it?
magic and craziness. They just want to relax.
Some comfort food.
Sure, I guess I understand that. Sure.
Yeah. So and that's Night in Terror Tower.
So
that's basically it. That's what happens.
That is it's a very. There's not a lot that happens in this book because literally there's 3 parts or 4 parts. Sorry, there's Night in Terror Tower right at the beginning. There's hotel hijinks for like a good half of the book, which turn into medieval hotel hijinks. Then there's the medieval town, and then there's a return to Terror Tower, and then going into the future. So not a lot happens in this book. Also, and look, again, it's a kid's book, but in chapter 2, when they bring up Edward and Susanna, I was like, okay, these kids are ghosts. I just was like, these kids are ghosts.
These kids are ghosts.
Like, and then every single thing that happens to them, I'm like, yep, they're ghosts. Yep, they're ghosts. Yep, they're ghosts. And then they get traveled back in time and they meet Morgred, and I'm like, fucking cool. It's time traveling fantasy. All right, where's the next twist at? And there isn't another twist. It just fucking wraps up.
They really don't do anything fun. I say they in the plural. I mean, it's RL and his soldiers. Like they don't do anything with the fun concept of now you remembering your royalty and you're in a medieval land and there's people hunting for you. I don't know. Have something where they're in a medieval courtyard and people are stopping them going, "Hail, prince and princess." Like, I don't know. Have fun with it.
Have a Home Alone sequence in Terror Tower where they fuck that executioner up.
Oh my God, that'd be so cool.
Yeah,
they're using the torture devices and they know all about them because they saw them in the tour.
And they learned how to use them.
They learned how to use them. They put them on the rack.
Oh, that would have been great. Yeah. Damn, that's a really good fix there, Paul.
Yep. You're welcome.
I guess also maybe, I don't know, let them confront this mysterious king that wants to kill them at some point. Like, have him... He succeeded. Like, he won, really, I guess.
Yes,
no matter what, he got it. Like, so the bad guy won.
Yeah, but kids lived, so it's happy. I actually kind of like this book, except that there's so much filler. But like, I like the beginning and I like the ending with magic and a wizard. Like, it's fun.
I like the idea of it a lot.
Yeah, it's just... I wish it was just a little bit more hijinks rather than running around a hotel.
A lot of it's like dying and ditching. It's just kind of like,
they do that twice.
Yeah.
They do get paid back because they dine and ditch twice. Well, technically, they dine and ditch once in a restaurant, but they also ditch the taxi driver who they were supposed to pay. So they fuck these two people over. But when they go back to medieval times, Sue gets hoodwinked by a peasant woman who turns her in even though she takes her gold and promises to hide her. So she gets fucked over for that.
Yeah, but that's like the least interesting part of the medieval. Like, you know what they should have done too? They should have had like the kids give the taxi driver and the diner, even though they think that it's not real, like bags of gold and like, yeah, you know, these random people in New York, or not New York, but in London, like got some. I keep picturing New York because now you said Home Alone, so I keep picturing New York now.
Yeah.
They got thousands of dollars from old Renaissance gold. I don't know. Just something to have fun with.
Accidental rich, yeah.
Accidental rich is always a great little beat in any kids movie.
But yeah, like I'm with you, Dom. This one was like, at the end of it, I was like, oh man, cool. It's like a fantasy book. There's like there's a wizard. There's all this time travel. It's kind of like cool, like sci-fi fantasy. But then I was just like, man, but you could have, like I said, I knew I read the twist super early.
Yeah.
Get him to the wizard like halfway through the book, have this turn around, and then let's have some fun in this fantasy world, right?
Oh yeah, or I don't know, throw in another curveball of like they've done this in, I think, in other books. Have the executioner chase them, but then also have a creepy old man chasing them, and it's like it's Morgred, and he came to the future, and he's trying to help them. I don't know. Do something, and then he's casting spells, so you can have fun with magic. Yeah,
I thought Morgred. So when they first escaped Terror Tower in the beginning, they walk into a parking lot, and an old man sees them. I don't know if you guys remember that part, and he's the one who sends them back to the hotel. And I thought that was going to be Morgred, but it just
that would make sense. Like guidance, it'd be nice to have a benevolent, because good Morgred's plan stunk on ice. Like it was not.
He's great wizard, terrible planner.
Yeah, it's kind of that like, I let my dog loose in the park. I'm sure he's fine. You know what? I don't have to worry about him anymore. He'll be good. He'll survive. He's an animal. It really, you know what? This is a fun book. It is a fun book, just a lot of filler. You're right.
Yeah,
it was.
It's like
it was not a scary one, but it was a fun one.
No. It could have been scary, but
yes,
it was like a knockoff Hostess cake. You're eating it, and you're like, "This is like a Hostess," but it's just not quite there. But it's good.
But it's
interesting bit of trivia according to the wiki.
Let's hear it.
The premise of two heirs to the English throne mysteriously vanishing is actually based on true events. In 1483, Richard III placed his two nephews, Edward V and Richard, Duke of York, in the Tower of London, then a palace, and were never seen again.
Whoa.
It is not known what happened to the two young princes, but most rumors say they were killed.
Wow.
Oh, and that's what that song "Two Princes" is called.
That's what it's about,
right?
Died in a fucking tower.
Yeah, you know the Gin Blossoms are big European historians.
If you want to rack my body. And that's I believe that's
Spin Doctors. Spin Doctors.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, that is different.
How dare you disgrace the album Pocket Full of Kryptonite by Spin Doctors?
Okay, you're Googling them right now as you say that.
I knew it was Spin Doctors, but I did look it up to make sure. It's called the name of it. I actually really like the Gin Blossoms. They're good.
Yeah, they're both great. Dom and I were just talking last week about how the 90s pop rock...
Shortly after you got your ticket.
Yeah, man, this is all coming back. We were just talking about it because they were on the radio. It was like, that was a great decade for pop rock music because every band had one or two hits tops.
Yep.
And you never had to watch any of those bands become so big they became like dicks. You never had to like... There weren't too many U2s where like they'd have too many songs and then like their main singer going, but what if I was a fly man? Call me the fly. You just get to enjoy the song and there's no emotional attachment to them other than how great they are. Anyway,
they just broke up and like called it quits at that point. Most of the bands then, Pixies, Smashing Pumpkins, they just did the right thing and they were like, all right, we're done.
One or two were good. I'm gonna be a dad now and have a kid in school. Let's go.
Yep. Mm-hmm. It was a great time.
I think that's Tower. I keep saying Tower of Terror. Jesus,
I keep doing it too.
Disney has their branding down.
Yes,
A Night in Terror Tower. Yeah, in Terror Tower.
I do want to say something about this book though, because what you just said about the trivia is really interesting. I feel like this was definitely written by RL, and I know that because he used the two instances of landing hard on elbows and knees, and there was also a sour note in here. Again, Nika calls this. That's another point in her sour book.
Yeah.
I think it was written by him though, because I think my assumption is he went to England because he's probably fucking rich at this point, and took a trip and learned a bunch of shit and put it in this book because this book was filled with historical and just tons of different facts. Which again, as Dom said, the beginning of the book is great because it's got a bunch of cool facts in it.
Yeah, it's just RL on a tour.
He wrote this down and was like, can you repeat that, please? I'm just going to copy you word for word for this book.
I'm going to write off my entire London trip by writing about it in this book. Okay, that's done. It was research. Yep.
No, it does have also the, to me, like the big iconic RL thing of like, escaped my lips or whatever. There's like always a moan. Moaning that falls out of the mouth that he likes to write.
Yes.
It's a RL thing.
And tons of fake outs at the beginning. The first 5 chapters are all these just fake out. There's the picture thing. Again, the last picture I'll ever take of Eddie, which I don't think it's true because they go back to the future, and you're going to tell me that Sue didn't pick up a camera once again
unless
to take a picture of Eddie?
Well, what I mean to say, it is the last picture she takes of Eddie because after that they learn their true identities. So he's not really Eddie; he is Edward, even though they go by Eddie and Sue.
Touché, RL. All right, he got me there.
They're woke.
Woke ass royals. Go on. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm pitching up to Disney right now. Hold on. Or their travel back in time and re-entering the modern day timeline. We don't really get to explore that world yet. They might have changed the timeline. Maybe photos don't exist anymore. Like while they're in the original Terror Tower, he drops his camera on the floor and technology progresses in a different way over the years.
It goes back in time. The camera does.
They drop the camera back in time, and they leave it, and then some crazy medieval engineer, retrofits it or re-engineers it.
Fuck, that's cool. Damn,
that also is cool. Could have done that too.
Damn, that's a cool fix.
A little book called "Say Cheese and Die."
Oh my god, the universe is starting to congeal. Holy shit.
Where children take a photo of a man and kill him.
I'll never forget the ending of that book. It's so good.
Those kids never thought about that crime ever again for the rest of their lives. They killed a man, didn't think about it.
They murdered him.
They were like, taking a life is easy. We should do it again.
Well, then they become kids who murder, but they take a photo of the dude, but then they just kill him with like crowbars and stuff. But that's like their calling card.
Yeah.
Yes.
We created some sick fucks.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think that's it. You guys want to read an iTunes review?
Yeah, let's do that. This was a very straightforward book, this one.
Yeah, it really was. I think because of the pad, we haven't had like a padding book like this, I feel like, in a while. I don't know. It felt more like, okay, this isn't really what the book's about right now, but
I'm glad I am glad that they weren't ghosts, because I really thought they were going to be ghosts, because I was going to be pissed off considering the fact that the last ending, My Hairiest Adventure, was very similar to that with he was a dog the whole time thing, you know?
Yeah,
so I was gonna be really annoyed if he did that. So cheers to RL for not going in the same direction.
What if all future Goosebump books ended with them just being dogs? Like that, like weird, like we just noticed in all of these books from this point on, there's no foreshadowing or anything, but just, oh, they're dogs again. What a bummer. Like,
right. Dogs.
And
then do it.
Yeah, let's do some reviews.
Dom, why don't you do it? You've been kind of leading this one.
Yeah, Dom.
Sure. Guys, a great way to support this little show, Goosebuds, that you love, there's a free way to do it. It's a very cheap way to support the show, and that's leaving an iTunes review. You'll have to log in iTunes, remember your password, maybe reset your password. But if you can get to leaving a review, you may have it read on the show like we are going to do right now. This one is titled Memorable Jokes That Pop Up in the Most Inconvenient Times, 5 stars, by Chop Suey in Sauce. They write, I went to R.L. Stine's book signing a few days ago, and all I could think about was tasteful 9/11 jokes. Great show with a hilarious take on these child classics. P.S. While R.L. was signing, he got an announcer to tell us his spooky puns to keep the crowd entertained. What a guy.
That's fantastic.
I really like that. That's great.
That's great. I've got one here from...
sorry. I was trying to figure out what that means. He had another dude just saying jokes? Or like funny words?
So he's a joke writer. I have one of his books around here. It's like 101 monster jokes. But yeah, there's a long line. They all want to meet RL. He's going to sign some books. So I guess a guy who was working there was just reading some jokes that RL had written. And I like that.
That is very cool.
That's a pun hype man. I like it.
I will say I can picture an awkward moment in my mind, though, where I'm in line to sign books with RL. And then, like, his guy says a pun, and just as I get up to RL, and I got
you're real close.
I have to laugh at the pun, or RL's gonna know.
Yeah,
okay,
I think that's
cool.
RL strikes me as a guy that if you laughed at his joke, he would look at you and just be like, "Don't do that." No.
Why?
These jokes are not for laughing.
I think he may.
So I got one here from Existential Birthday Card. It says, strap on your diapers. It's about to get spooky. Have you ever felt fear? Well, I'm telling you right now you haven't. Not real fear. The kind of fear you can only get by reading a legitimate R.L. Stine classic. That special fear that makes you change middle schools because you had a mental breakdown during silent reading time. This ain't your mama's ghost stories. This is Goosebuds, you stinking babies. Join Chad, Paul, and Dom, 3 boys who don't scared of anything as they endure the most frightening stories to ever be entered into Western literature. Will their sanity hold? Probably not. But someone's got to tell me what these books are about because I'm too scared to read them myself.
That's a great review. I love that.
Yeah, it's perfect. Sums us up.
Thanks, Existential Birthday Card, for that nice review. I have a short and sweet one from Dohebon. Says, grade A, good times, 5 stars. Having been a longtime fan of Continue, I had to give this a go, and I'm extremely glad I did. This is one of the funniest podcasts out there, and a guaranteed one-way trip on the Boner Express. One-way trip makes me think that you have a boner for the rest of your life,
which is great.
I guess. Yeah, definitely check it out. Thank you very much for the review. This, like Dom said, definitely helps out the show, and it means a lot.
Yeah, it's a huge help, and if you can get past the annoying password thing, which is 100% true, Dom, we would really appreciate it. It's very helpful.
Another pretty cheap way to support the show, you can follow us on Twitter and spread the good word of Goosebuds by following us at GoosebudsPod. We see when you guys tweet at us and retweet links to the show. It means a lot. People like Ricardo Rivera, Faye, Dude2O, Madeline Voker, let me say a few more, at Brad Nelms, Tasty RC, That Retro. It all really means a lot. Every little bit helps a ton.
And at Jack. Thanks, bruh.
Jack.
Thanks,
on Twitter.
Jack.
Man, you're not shutting down on hate speech on Twiter, but you're sharing the love of Goosebuds, and that means a lot there, Jack.
Thanks,
Jack.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks.
Another not so cheap way to support us is to support us on Patreon. We've got 2 levels. We got a $2 level. You get to vote on what we're going to read. You get access to some exclusive content, things like that. Then there's the $5 level, which gets you access to Camp Goosebuds, where the 3 of us sit around the fire and have a nice cozy chat.
It's been a real fun time. I've really been enjoying our new, as fun as it was watching movies with Dom, I've really been enjoying the new Camp Goosebuds format a ton.
It's a third podcast, which is really nice. Like we get that was 2 what you guys were doing, but it's a third Goosebuds podcast, so it's nice.
It's dirty, you know. It's dirty. It's not going to be clean. It's not. It's not going to be dirty. Like freaking so tightly knit like this episode, right? It's just going to be freeform, man. It's dirty.
We're cooking. It's a jazz session, you know. We're cooking in there. We're getting a little session going, you know.
Yeah, bring your spice.
And let me also mention you get access to our Goosebuds Discord, which has been actually a real pleasure to be part of and read the ongoing chats. I saw a few members are organizing like movie watch sessions based around like stuff we talk about on the podcast, which is really fucking cool. Mm-hmm. So get in on that. It's real nice.
I actually got a message from I'm a Kevin who's trying to set up a game/movie night on there. Which is really cool. We try to hop in there and chat whenever we can. We've been really busy. I'm doing a live show at the end of the month, so I have not had the time to chat in any of our... so we have a continued Patreon channel, and we have the Goosebuds Patreon channel. I haven't had the time to hop in there and talk like I want to, but we do try to hop in there whenever we can and have some conversations, because there's always some interesting stuff being talked about in there, and interesting things being posted.
You guys got some weird, good tastes. I'm actually really impressed that the Goosebud supporters have like minds. It's really nice to see.
Paul, speaking of your live show that you're doing at the end of the month, people who are in the Philadelphia area can go and see you live on stage.
They should. We're doing a continued live show. We're going to be showing a lot of videos that we've produced, some from before and some that are brand new. Ooh. And we'll be premiering some videos there, and we'll be doing little bits and gags between each of the videos and stuff like that to kind of have a little show there. So it's our first time doing a true live show. We've done live panels where we've written bits and stuff like that, but this is our first like truly live show. So we'll be doing that at Good Comedy Theater. It's on December 2nd. And you can get tickets if you Google Good Comedy. You'll be able to find them. Or you can find on twitter.com/continue show. We've been tweeting about it.
Now, Paul, if I were to go to the show before or after, is there any chance, if I was a random person, could I like hang out with you and like get a smooch? Would that be a thing?
Oh, there will be a kissing booth. There's going to be a kissing booth. We're going to be, actually, to be honest, we are going to have, hopefully, I'm trying to plan a hangout for after it for us all to go somewhere so that the people who attend the show and that want to hang out afterwards can go back, and we can like, I'm thinking hopefully someplace where we can maybe play some games and get some beers and stuff like that. So
that's real cool.
We're going to try and do that. Yeah, so that should be fun. There was something else I wanted to say. We actually just started a new podcast.
Oh, shit. That's right.
Yeah.
It's called Pretend Friends, and it's a RPG pen and paper podcast where we play a game that isn't D&D. It's actually called Space Kings, and it's a story that's unfolding, and there's going to be some guests coming up pretty soon.
I just like that's a good tease. That's good.
You might want to check it out.
There's a lot of D&D pen and paper role playing podcasts and shows out now, but I gotta say, Space Kings is pretty solid. It's pretty good. It's worth your time.
Thanks.
It's pretty good. It's not great. Apparently, according to Chad, I've not experienced it yet, so I can't speak on it.
I highly recommend.
There's a fair amount out there already, but the nice thing is we're finishing up our first arc now, so we're gonna make it so that it's easy to hop in at any point, so you don't have to go right all the way back to the beginning if you don't have time, if you want to just hop in later. So we're working on that right now, but it's fun. We're having a lot of fun making it.
I met a friend, a listener of the things that we've done, and we were just chatting, and he was like we were hanging out, and we somehow got to the conversation of having listened and being a fan of the things that we do, and I said what's interesting about the things that we do is that it's usually just us hanging out and recording ourselves, like making each other laugh and just having a good time. So if you enjoy that, chances are if we meet you, we'd probably have a pretty good time because
that's very true.
You've been hanging out with us. But that's what I mean to say is that if you enjoy the chill vibe that we have here on this show, chances are you will love Pretend Friends, because just like Continue, which is mentioned frequently in our iTunes reviews, it's just hanging out. So I think you should listen to Pretend Friends. This is my roundabout way of telling you that you're probably gonna like it.
I do agree. I just also want to warn real quick that I totally agree with you, Dom, in that you guys are very much how you are in real life. I do want to warn in case anyone ever runs into me at a convention or anything. I am very different. This is mostly a persona. Real me, picture like Jared Leto in any of his movies, like in Blade Runner, where just kind of everything seems super serious and I'm kind of looking off in the distance a lot.
You are really pensive, yeah.
Yeah, I also like use my hands for like physical communication by like just grabbing everything. So just know really unpleasant to be around. Just a heads up, maybe talk to the other two people.
Well, I think it's fair to say that your actual name in real life isn't Chad. It's Chocolate Goth, right?
God, I wasn't sure. Yeah.
It's a very visceral and physical experience to be around Chad.
Yeah. This is why we mostly record remotely.
It's scary.
I came up with a nickname for myself last night. It's not. You ready? You ready for this? So we were talking about how we had seized the day yesterday. We had a very full and pleasurable day. We seized it. We carpe diem'd. And then we were having a delicious bowl of soup, which I was telling both these guys about earlier at night. And we were I said noche, carpe nocheing. Just assuming that the Latin word for night would also be the same as the Spanish word for night.
Sure.
And then I looked up what the actual word for night is in Latin, and it's noctis.
I was going to tell you that, yeah.
So my name is Noctis Boy. Is what I'm.
You're Night Boy?
Night Boy.
Night Boy. I like it. It's like a different variation of indoor kids. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start being an Uber driver, and I'm gonna enter my name in Uber as Noctis Boy. So like when you get your call, like you order your Uber, like you'll see Noctis Boy is arriving to pick you up in 10 or 15 minutes. And
oh my God, I just want to say if you put it just as Noctis. And give yourself like a pretty like dark photograph as your Uber driver, I would be so excited, intrigued, right? And scared about you picking me up. Yeah, I'm going
to pick people up, and I'm not going to say anything there, except for when they leave. When they leave my car, I will tell them Carpe Noctis, seize the night, and then I'll drive off. And it'll be a very mysterious thing. My car is going to be all black, and I'll have Noctis Boy on the back window so that people see it and see me coming. And I will only perform Ubering at certain hours of the night, and people they won't be able to select me, but they might get Noctis Boy if they know the hours that Noctis Boy rides.
Yeah, isn't like a move that you do? You're driving the car, and then you're like, let me reach into the glove compartment here and grab something, and then just bats fly out of the glove compartment.
Oh yeah.
And then there's just bats in the car. Yeah.
If you say the correct series of words, which I will not reveal in this podcast, that will happen. Yes.
Wow. Well, I think what also is really a danger and a great part of you being a very particular night driver is if you're doing a really late
drive.
If the sun comes up while they're still in the car, you just kick them out and leave. Like as soon as sun hits your car, you cannot be Noctis Boy anymore, and they must end the ride right there.
We have to race against the light. Yeah.
Oh,
It'll be a wild ride. It will be a wild ride if you're in there before dawn. Yes.
Wow. You know, I have to just say something that was addressed. I said that Beneath the Planet of the Apes was the first sequel to be made.
Oh, yeah.
And some other people have come out and said that, well, there was, the sequel to, what is that?
Bride of
Birth of a
Frankenstein.
Nation. And
Birth of a Nation.
A sequel to Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. And, I'm just going to go ahead and dismiss those and say that I'm right.
I think the point still stands, even if those are factually accurate, that in that era, they were figuring out what do we do when we tell a story again. And,
right.
And especially marketing it towards audiences. I guess we just continue exactly when the story ended. We just pick it right up.
The first shit sequel is what it was.
It's great. I love that movie.
Man, I don't know if I could ever handle watching another one of the Apes movies, how much that one freaked me out. But that was one of the ones that the Goosebuds Patreon were planning on watching at some point.
People can watch that one, and then maybe if you like it, watch Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. So
all right.
Unrated version.
Which is the one where they time travel, like two apes time travel to modern day
That's
New York?
Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
They
travel like to LA because it's cheaper that way.
Sure.
But yeah, it's wacky.
Oh, well, this has been a great one, guys. I think we should probably wrap it up, right?
Yeah, I had a blast.
Hey.
Guys, thanks so much for being my friend and reading dumb Goosebump books with me.
Guys,
same.
Check out Pretend Friends. Go to comfyjunior.com and spend some money and and stop by the Patreon and maybe have your name read on the show and listen to Camp Goosebuds. Do it all, baby, and we'll see.
Oh, and hey! Before I forget, the first episode of Unikitty that I wrote aired on Halloween. You can probably find it online or on Cartoon Network app, and there's a lot of angry Teen Titans Go fans leaving comments. Please go check it out. It's very fun. It's a spooky episode.
Go leave good comments on it.
Yeah, leave good comments if you can. But go check it out. More stuff will be coming out for that show soon. But go watch Spooky Game, it's called.
Spooky Game Unikitty. I'm going to go watch it right after this.
Oh, thanks. All right, guys. Goodbye. I love you.
I love yous.
Don't let the door hit ya. Where the good Lord split you.
Okay.
Isn't that what
Carpe
people say?
Noctis.
People say that?
Carpe Noctis.
Carpe Noctis, you son of a bat. This episode of Goosebuds is brought to you by our wonderful Patreon supporters. If you would like to support us on Patreon, you can do so by going to patreon.com/goosebuds. Thank you to Asim Zaman,
Stefan Jive Turkey Kuwabara,
Planes, Trains, and Meowmobiles.
Kel Clinton,
SBS,
Sergio Holguin,
Patrick,
Tara Jansen,
Tom,
Aaron, can I get an amen? Cole,
Andrew Jason Santos,
Jake Young,
Keith Robinson,
Jason Crooker,
S.
Patrick Reynolds,
Scott Colopy,
Trent Davis,
Jacob Rakir,
ya best pal,
Paladin Supreme Jellymans,
Tyler Lucas,
Kyle Billings,
Robert Moon,
Ryan Shell,
Poop Dick Tracy,
Stealth Bates,
Ryan Melfi,
Logan Troiano,
Gettysburg,
Michael Knight,
Pen Mask,
Sarah Welch,
Jack Frazee,
Nathan Wainwright,
Connor Church,
Zachary Lawson,
Centicles,
Lendell Martin,
Ronald King,
Drew Applegate,
Silo,
Alistair Perez,
Brian,
Victor,
Becca McWilliams,
Slink Me Up Daddy,
Zambambino,
Spencer Egart,
Christopher McElvogue,
Sven Stormbeard,
Patrick Murphy,
Ben Bohan,
Chase Neiman,
Psycho Master 1,
Carly Sarnowski,
Vincent Modica,
Aaron T. Strunk,
yeah, Nathan Remick,
Chris Culver,
Stephen Daniels in Patreon supporter,
John Jimco Productions,
Brandon Raudenbush, LLC,
Fausto the Taco Druid,
Brian Hopgood,
Fangirling with Mel,
Jennifer Britton,
Eric England,
Afshin Motaleb,
Bean Daddy Spook Boy,
Danky McStanky,
Just Like Hollywood _
Sarah Kemp,
YT Chan,
Philip McKee,
Zachary J. Boss,
Matt Flanagan,
Jubs,
Grady Wakeman,
The Rupel Productions,
Mayor Negatorium,
yes,
Joshua Lopez,
Jordan Winkleman,
Honk,
Hi Raposo,
Martin A. Mossius,
Daniel Callejas,
Kenneth Tyler Burns,
Madeline Volker,
Jim Greaves,
John Luke,
Natu Pearl Henderson.
Christopher Boyce,
Hollis Hornbeak,
Somehow every time I get Turtlemancer.
Zachary James Boyce.
Oh, did I already say his name?
I feel like he's been said a couple times.
Well, there's Christopher Boyce right above.
Huh. Zachary J. Boyce, and then there's Zachary James Boyce.
Well, he's on here twice. He gets
He's
his
paid
name
for it
twice.
twice.
Two different
You get your
emails.
name twice.
So nice, you donated twice.
There you go.
Walter Frazier,
Ryan Fisk,
Ford Theater Reunion.
Sean Lyons,
Cameron Murphy,
Paul Grasso,
Ben Bueller.
Michael McDowell.
Nick Hayes.
David Cron.
Zhang Keith.
Dagger throwing knives.
Whoa.
I'm a Kevin.
Joshua P. Robertson.
Tim I. Healy.
Ed Burdick.
David Cole.
Aaron Manchester.
Beware and warning.
Mickey C.
Dapio.
Jared Mason.
Kevin Boucher.
Taylor Dierks.
Jonas Blatterman. Or Jonas Blatterman, whichever one you think.
Whatever you prefer. Matt Sadler.
Nick Hinkle.
Benton P.
Brian Burniton.
Fred Atkins.
Nathan Dolezal.
I like that name. It's a good name. Clayton C.
Paul, stamp of approval. Mike Lanteri.
Kyla Tharp.
Buddy Morrill.
Chris Birch.
And Joe, insert wacky noise, Scott. Okay, wait, hold on, let me do that. Joe, Scott.
So wacky.
Auga, Scott. How about that one?
I got both. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all for donating. So nice of you.
Bye.
Love yous.